Hey guys, Dan Garner, strength coach and nutrition specialist here. Let's talk a little bit about fish oil. Okay, so fish oil is like one of those supplements that's just recommended across the board from pretty much all personal trainers and fitness enthusiasts alike. And for a good reason, right? We know omega-3s do a lot of good things for the body, and a lot of people don't get enough omega-3s daily. There's just not that many people out there eating fatty fish. People who do eat fatty fish actually don't need to supplement with omega-3s or fish oil. If they're getting about 3 to 4 servings in per week, that's going to be enough to cover your needs. But most people just don't do that almost 0 times a week. So it's smart to get some sort of supplementation in. But what I'm here to talk about today is actually the consistency that we see within the research coming from omega-3s with a few undesirable effects. So undesirable effect number one being it really helps to increase bleeding time. So it's not smart to take near surgery before or after. Number two, omega-3s actually will create their own oxidative damage. And you did hear that correctly. So albeit omega-3s and fish oil are very anti-inflammatory, if you start taking way too much for too long, like a lot of people do, some of the doses I've heard out there for fish oil are obscene and ridiculous. That omega-3 will actually create its own oxidative damage within the body. There's definitely a point of diminishing returns and then a point of just it not being good for you. And the third thing that we see very consistently in the research is actually omega-3's ability to decrease biomarkers of immune function. So what that means is your immune system's ability to get up and attack undesirable invaders coming in within the body. And I'm going to talk about 3 studies here today on this that I think are very important because immune function is huge when it comes to fat loss or muscle building or athletic performance. So that's the one I'm going to shine on today. In a 12-week trial by Thies et al., if I get that name right, I'm not sure if I get any of these guys' names right, but in a 12-week trial by Thies et al., what they did was measure different fatty acids effect on immune function, and EPA and DHA was the only fatty acid that had a negative effect on immune function. And this negative effect was actually a 48% reduction in natural killer cell activity. That's a big number. And in another study, in a 4-week trial by Kuz's team, DHA supplementation actually decreased T cell activity. And if you know your immune system dynamics, that's a big deal. We want the T cells operating at optimal function, especially if body composition change is something that's important to you. And in another 12-week trial, so this is good to keep seeing these 12-week trials because the longer the better. It's hard to look at something in a narrow window, but when it's 12 weeks, we get a much better view on it. But in a 12-week trial from Rees et al., they measured varying amounts of EPA and their effect on immune function in both young and older men. So what they did is they supplemented with 1.35, 2.7, and 4.05 grams of EPA daily, and those doses of fish oil were seen to decrease cellular defenses against invaders. So that's 3 long, pretty compelling studies, then consistency that we see with the same thing decreasing immune function. So don't take words out of my mouth and say Dan Garner doesn't recommend fish oil. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. People, they love their fish oil, and I know people could get heated up about this. But fish oil, what you have to do with it is be reasonable. There's ridiculous doses out there, like 30 grams, 40 grams, or people that just drink out of the bottle when they wake up in the morning. You don't need that. You're going to be getting all the positive benefits from fish oil at 3 to 5 grams per day. That's like a teaspoon a day. Have a teaspoon with breakfast and you're going to be good. There's no reason to get crazy with it because when you start getting crazy with it is when you start seeing some of the negative implications that you get with omega-3 supplementation. And another thing when it comes to omega-3s is just actually its effect on insulin sensitivity and are not exact consensus of it yet. So this is something that is shouted from the rooftops by some trainers and nutrition people on various social media outlets. But within the research, we have omega-3 supplementation in fish oil demonstrating increases in insulin sensitivity, which is all great. We also have some studies showing decreases in insulin sensitivity, which is really weird when you hear people demonstrate or talking about the awesome benefits of it. And then we also have a ton of research that says it doesn't do much for insulin sensitivity. And we actually have a meta-analysis on this using 11 randomized trials, and the overall consensus was that the omega-3s didn't have much of an effect on insulin sensitivity. So I'm just saying that the consensus isn't there for the insulin sensitivity yet, and it's not something that I'm saying is bad, not at all. Fish oil is great to have in the diet. But it's probably something us trainers should stop shouting from the rooftops and incorporating in any of your sales pitches. All right? Thanks for watching.